Living adventures, welcome to an exciting video from Senja Island in northern Norway. We'll be hiking to Hesten peak with the stunning views of the famous Segla peak. Fortunately today I'm also gonna lose my drone, crashing into the cliffs of the Segla mountain. So let's get started! Alright, and here we arrived to the village Fjordgard, where you start a hike to Hesten peak, which is 2 kilometers away. From this village also starts the hike to the famous Segla mountain that you can see in the front. Hard to get here with the car, you have to go through 2 tunnels that are pretty narrow, so you have to wait for the other cars going opposite way. The road wasn't paved either. So let's start hiking. So as you see, today is probably first sunny day since we arrived to northern Norway, so we're gonna make the most of it with this epic hike. So as you can see, there are some epic looking mountains around here as well. Here we can see a first epic view of the Segla, steep rocky wall from the bottom to the top. And here we are getting out of the shadow of Segla to the sunshine again, where it's noticeably warmer. I even took my shirt off, which is really bizarre considering we're walking through the snow a few days ago. And over here we got to the crossroad just under the ridgeline. So first we're gonna go on the left to the bottom of Segla, where we're gonna take some pictures and fly drone. And then we're gonna continue up along the ridgeline until the Hesten peak. And then after that we're just gonna make a shortcut down through here, making a loop. And over here we got to the cliffs at the end of the ridgeline, so this is where people sit on the edge of the cliff for taking pictures. Over here in the distance you can see the Fjordgard village where we have accommodation and the viewpoint where we're hiking yesterday. here we got almost at the bottom of Segla, and here we got the steep cliffs on the right side. So when you're walking through here, you have to be really careful because one wrong step can mean a certain death. On the right side, you have a few hundred meters almost vertical cliff going all the way down to the sea. Alright, and here we got pretty much to the bottom of Segla, where the steep cliff starts. So I'm sure that some people like Alex Honnold could even scramble up on this ridgeline to the top. Would be even good for climbing. I'm not sure what's the type of rock, if it's safe to climb it or not. But I don't see any climbers here, so it's probably too difficult to climb, or the rock is not suitable for climbing. Over here I see some path going to the bottom of the cliff, so it's probably for climbers who climbing here. Alright, and here we're having some lunch. I'm having some baked potatoes, and Sanja is having some leftover red curry with rice. So it's all healthy, whole foods vegan, no excuse. And after lunch we began to fly our Mavic Pro drone. So first I was flying out into the sea. I got some of the most amazing shots I ever recorded with the drone. But then I decided to fly around Segla, where the drone lost the signal, and then started to fly home, where it crashed into the cliff. Hey guys, we're just flying a drone. We wanted to fly around Segla, but it actually lost the signal and we couldn't get back. So we pressed return home and it was basically flying straight to us, and I just saw last thing on the camera that it hit some rocks. So it's probably somewhere under the Segla or somewhere on the cliffs, or maybe even down there in the sea. Who knows? So maybe, so maybe tomorrow we'll come to look for it, but now we're just gonna go up here and enjoy the views, because I don't think we would even make it down and up again. The DJI app also has the last GPS position of the drone before it lost connection, and it showed it somewhere on the left side of the Segla, somewhere on these cliffs, but it would take us at least another 2-3 hours to go back down and up on Segla. So I think we're just gonna leave it for tomorrow and look for the drone there. So after losing drone, we're not even in a mood to take pictures on these cliffs with the Segla in the background. And we're still thinking to go up on Segla to look for it, because somebody else could have taken it so far. At the end we just decided not to go there and not stress anymore and just enjoy the rest of the day. We also saw quite a lot of professional photographers here, probably waiting for the golden hour sunset light on Segla. And right now it's already middle of September, so there are probably even more people here during the summer. But again, now it's also a time for the northern lights, so they're probably waiting for that as well.
Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? I'm down, yeah. No friends of mine, no friends of mine around, yeah. Now I'm thinking I might have caught the June blues. Yeah, I wanna drown myself inside the juice. Yeah, you know I keep on running from the truth. Was that not? I'm just a lonely fucking you. Now when I drive around, don't fill it up. Why it's getting colder when the sun come out? Might just waste away, don't know what life about. Another day go by, don't know.
Here we are beginning to scramble to the last part of the Hesten peak, which is quite steep.
Yeah, I got the June blues, yeah. Walk around like who you, yeah. There's something you get used to, yeah. Go back to June blues, yeah. It's just the June blues, yeah. Walk around like who you, yeah. Just something you get used to. Breaking news got me breaking. I was present, hopeless, praying. Struck down at 20.
Alright, and here we already got to the Hesten peak, 556 meters above sea level. We got this amazing view of the fjord and the mountains on the other side.
So honest, you the penny, pick it up like Chevy, New Age Machiavelli, disagree, don't tell me, now you with infinity, we 98, trust that he be good. On the ball like BB, don't make no mistakes, got the faith. The 18 just not gon' be the same. Finna bleed down generations, not gon' be in vain. Too young, why you gotta go, I just wanna know now. Too numb, crying getting old, hope you free your soul,
We also got a view of these other mountains in the front that we didn't see before because they're behind the Hesten peak.
Myself inside the juice, yeah, you know I keep on running from the truth. Was that not? I'm just a lonely fucking you. Now when I drive around, don't fill it up. Why it's getting colder when the sun come out? Might just waste away, don't know what life about. Another day go by, don't know what got me down. Myself inside the juice, yeah, you know I keep on running from the truth. Was that not? I'm just a lonely fucking you. Now when I drive around, don't fill it up. Why it's getting colder when the sun come out? Might just waste away, don't know what life about. Another day go by, don't know what got me down.
At this point it was already time to go back down because we still have about another hour of descent and it was already close to sunset, but I convinced Sanya to go a little bit more down on the ridgeline to take some amazing shots with the sunset. And over here between the cliffs we can see some photographer just standing on the edge of the cliff. It's amazing the places these photographers get just to get a perfect shot.
There's nothing in this world that I've ever needed more from you. I've been golden in this before. You've been on my mind.
Walking down on this ridgeline with the spectacular views of the mountains in the front was really amazing. Alright, as you can see, the sun is going more and more down, so we don't have much time before the darkness. So we're just gonna make this to this little viewpoint peak over here, and then from there we'll return back.
It's always you, it's always you. I keep falling for you.
From here the ridgeline keeps going more in the front until those cliffy mountains, but from there it looks doable only with a rope and serious climbing. You could probably also make a loop down around this lake and back to the saddle over there, but we don't have much time for experimenting with that.
It's always you, it's always you. It's always you, it's always you, it's always you. I keep falling for you.
So these steep cliffs with the fjord underneath and the Segla mountain in the front, truly unique views, and I understand why there are so many photographers here. Many of them standing on the edge of the cliffs trying to get the perfect shots. Here we discovered this cliff for a perfect sunset shot. Sunsets like this are usually not very common in Norway because of the cloudy weather. When they do happen, it's very amazing to watch with this beautiful scenery.
What's Drablin's Drables? I feel a little vulnerable, a little exposed without my powerful man beard.
Here you can see the path where we came from underneath Segla, and now we are on top of Hesten waiting for the sunset. And now we're gonna get back down another way, connecting to the saddle over there, and then just get back down to the village. Now the Segla looks even more epic without the contrast in sunlight, shows even more definition and steepness of the cliffs. Now we are enjoying the last rays of sun before heading back down to the car. This side was also steep near the top, but not as much as the other side. Alright, as you can see, we're almost reaching the saddle, and as you can see, quite a few people are camping here tonight. It's probably gonna be a clear sky to observe the northern lights. So here you can see many of these campers have professional cameras, and one guy was even flying drone here. As we are descending down, we see some people hiking up. Probably want to wait for the darkness to see the northern lights. So as you can see, it's getting dark and we're still descending down, but there are lights on here near the path. They're very useful in the winter when it's a 24-hour darkness for a few months. And even though we lost the drone today, on the way back we managed to see the best northern lights we ever seen so far. Unfortunately, we didn't take our professional Sony camera with us, which would be more visible. We only took iPhone and G7X Canyon. So you might need to dim your lights or make your room darker to be able to see the northern lights on the screen. So we learned a very important lesson when it comes to flying drone today. Never fly it where you can't see it, behind trees, buildings or mountains, because it can lose the signal and then the drone will start just flying back home in a straight line. The setting for avoiding obstacles for returning the home option was somehow off, so always make sure it's on when you buy the drone. We're trying to focus on the positives. We still had an amazing day, finished with this amazing Northern Lights show. And losing the drone is pretty much losing the money, as we can just buy a new one. Which worse would be if we got some accident, like falling from the cliff or injuring ourselves in some way. So I hope you enjoyed today's vlog and the views of Segla and the surrounding mountains. Tomorrow we're gonna climb up to Segla to try to look for the drone, even though we don't give it much hope. So definitely stay tuned for that video. And as always, stay healthy and stay adventurous.